Hello, and welcome to the Proactive Social Impact Funds LinkedIn Live. My name is Bill Houston. I'm the founder of CrowdMax, a real estate crowdfunding marketing strategy consulting agency. I'd like to introduce to you Dr. Canaan Van Williams. Dr. Van, please introduce yourself and we'll get started.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that introduction. Hello to everyone. This is Dr. Canaan Van Williams of the Proactive Realty Social Impact Fund. Uh, and today is Thursday, August the 29th, and I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and riding on my way to a site being 1735 North Rancho Drive, where we've been able to reposition the community and provide a considerable amount of social impact, second chance housing, and the like.
Great. So we're gonna get a bonus today, and we're gonna actually get a site visit as well as the questions answered here on the LinkedIn Live.
Yes.
All right, great. So Dr. Van, what inspired you to explore the potential of real estate crowdfunding for social impact investing?
Yes. Real estate crowdfunding enables us to democratize investment opportunities, making it accessible to a broader range of investors to contribute to impactful social impact projects.
How has the rise of social impact investing influenced the real estate market?
That's a great question. So, social impact investing has pushed the real estate market to prioritize projects that not only generate returns, but also that address pressing societal needs like naturally occurring affordable housing. And you've heard me mention that before on these LinkedIn Live events that the proactive funds that we do, um, that our space, our niche, our differentiator is that we're in naturally occurring affordable housing, which means that we renovate, revitalize existing properties, existing manufactured home parks, existing single room occupancy properties, and existing multifamily properties.
Hey, can you explain how real estate crowdfunding democratizes investment opportunities?
Yes, great question. And we also have a case study. So it allows smaller investors to participate in high impact projects that were previously only accessible to larger institutions or accredited investors, diversifying the investor base. One case study is our property at that we had at 100 Citrus Circle, which that's the new street now, but formerly 100 Banashade Circle, Orangeburg, South Carolina. Orangeburg, South Carolina 29115. And in that particular property, we were able to accept lenders who were not accredited investors. We were able to accept some lenders into the project that had smaller amounts of capital, 15,000, 20,000, 25,000, 50,000, respectively. And they were able to, generate some, modest returns. However, be part of a really high impact investment with UMH properties that we sold a property to, which I was just there, and I'm digressing just a little bit here. I was there at that property yesterday and the day before, and we'll have a follow up drone video and a follow up video to our February 2024 video 16 months later. Well, this is August. We've just crossed our second year anniversary. We sold a property to them. We closed August the 22nd, 2022. As you know, today's August 29th, 2024. It's been 2 years and 1 week to the day. And UMH, I just can't even, how can I phrase it? I don't know how to phrase it. Other than that, the impact there is phenomenal. Not only are they creating homeowners and assisting the low income, but they have the best programs. They're just providing a ton of social impact and affordable housing because Proactive was able to come in, do the heavy lift, pass the torch on to them. They have a Morningstar Sustainalytics impact report, impact bond report, second opinion report. just as Proactive had one completed June 2024. And that's just, our major case study because it aligns with social impact, sold to a publicly traded company. We just filled a park in Greeleyville, South Carolina, and we work with another publicly traded company, Legacy Housing, which is a manufactured housing company. We were able to go in and provide 14 units into a community. We've had over 200 inquiries in less than 24 hours in that particular property. So back to your question, democratizing the process. There are smaller impact investors who would like to be included in the investment process, who'd like to learn about impact investing, who'd like to participate in impact investing and kind of test the waters and see what that's like, the updates, the returns, and things of that nature.
Great. What specific societal challenges can affordable housing address through real estate crowdfunding?
Another great question. So it tackles the previously unhoused. So homelessness, those who were previously homeless, second chance housing, Section 8 housing, affordable housing via government subsidies, those at or below the poverty line. It helps with housing insecurity, community disinvestment by funding projects that are, community investment funding projects. I'm just referring to my notes a little bit, that provide safe, affordable living spaces that are truly safe and have a high cost savings benefit. And when I say a high cost savings benefit, we'll get into that a little bit more in the upcoming books that I have coming out, the two on social impact investing, affordable housing, and also sustainable development goals that are in our impact report that we have published with Morningstar, that talks about and really delves into sustainable. Is this housing? Is this sustainable? Is this viable? Is this a real thing? And yes, it is. Next question.
Does affordable housing act as a catalyst for social change?
Oh, wow. This is multifaceted. Stabilizes communities, improves residents' quality of life, access to education, stability for children who need to go to school and be in a stable environment. I'm sure even a person who moved around a lot in the Army, as they call them, Army brats, it's a term that I've heard used. It's very important for children to have a stable place to live. And I know that personally from growing up and having to, be displaced quite a bit and go through a lot, with my mom and my dad being there sometimes not being there. And stability was very important. A saving grace was my aunt. I went to school in Berkeley, and I'm just using this as a quasi case study example. I went to school in Berkeley, grew up in Oakland, but I was able to use my aunt's address to go to school, and it was stable for me, even if my mom and I lived, here or there, wherever we lived, or with one of her friends or something of that nature. Still, I would stay with my aunt for several days out of the week, and she was on Section 8 housing, so she was stable. She lived in one place for numerous years. She lived at 906 Delaware, Apartment B in Berkeley, across the street from James Kennedy Park, and she lived there for roughly 15 years. And so, she was my caretaker, babysitter, and I went to school there. I went to a school called Columbus. I went to a school called Franklin in Berkeley, California. Martin Luther King Junior High, and I was able to be stable, because she had that housing subsidy. And it's just no other way for me to explain it or give it to you. I need to give you a real life example. This is not myself in a button-up shirt saying, "Oh, well, this and that." No, my impact comes from my life. It comes from real life examples. And this is something that this is my very first time I've ever shared that, because it just came to me as I was, reviewing the question, reviewing my notes, that, just the importance of stability and housing security. And that slice of housing security is what was a catalyst for myself. And so for other people, it's certainly a catalyst. I had a young lady in my office the other day, and we were talking about her housing options because she's fallen behind a couple months on her rent due to job instability with the agency she was working for. She's been a model resident for the last several years. And as we were talking, she says, Mr. Williams, you've been helping me. She says, I'm a single mom of 5 kids, and I had to think about it. She lives in the UMH Park because they've allowed us to retain so many homes in their community. And as she was talking about it, I was thinking to myself, I says, wow, I'm so involved in this impact thing, or so wrapped up in the day to day, being a regional manager from, different projects. I forgot all sometimes you forget all the things you do. And I was just like, wow, this lady's life has really been impacted. She was telling me about her kids graduating, her son being able to be in a charter school. She has twin 13-year-old sons. And she was just telling me all of these things. So to answer your question about catalysts for social change, and as part of that, it improves residents' quality of lives. It allows stability. It allows economic mobility, and it leads to broader social impact improvements. I'm a case in point. I'm a glaring example of what can happen.
Wow, absolutely powerful story. What are the main advantages of investing in affordable housing through real estate crowdfunding?
So investors in the impact projects themselves, and there are a lot of exchanges, like we're on Silicon Prairie. Another fantastic exchange that does a lot of impact is Small Change. Miss Eve Picker's platform provides a lot of social impact projects, just like Silicon Prairie does. Silicon Prairie is where Proactive, where our deal lives, um, and so the crowdfunding platforms. Uh, Investors benefit and the social impact projects benefit from great returns while contributing to essential community development and social impact uh, through affordable housing, through different projects. So, as there's different facets of social impact. You have tech, you have green energy, you have people who have, come in and cured food deserts, like our terrorist group is a group we were going to work with prior to UMH. Another group we were aligned with, our terrorist impact investors. They do phenomenal work with food deserts, with working with governmental agencies and things of that nature. Next questions.
How does real estate crowdfunding increase accessibility for small investors?
By lowering the threshold of the amount of capital they need to come with, the minimum investment threshold, it allows more individuals to participate in real estate opportunities and to participate also in those social impact projects, that are closest to their heart, to their personal mission, um, and what that they'd like to accomplish.
What role does diversification play in reducing risk for real estate crowdfunding investors?
Hmm. Oh, well, it reduces the impact of any single investment's underperformance. So, for example, think of multiple investments. A person with $1,000 or possibly $1,500 can invest across, say, $500 across three various projects. Those various projects would allow an investor to be exposed to three different deals, three different returns, three different risk profiles, not having all their eggs in one basket, and not taking on 100% of the risk of one project. Something that's similar but different is a multifamily property. If you have a single family residence, and this is for all real estate investors, if you have a single family resident, 100% of your risk, you have 100% risk because you have that one property. Uh, if you have a multifamily property, say you have 4 units or you have 6 units or you have 10 units, that risk is now spread across 10 units versus one single unit. So If one person decides, I want to trash the place, stop paying rent, or something of that nature, until you can work with them with some social service agencies or help them, to see the bigger picture of affordable housing, the need for it, and that they need to stay in it, and not jeopardize their housing. Um, it can throw a whole project off if you're relying on one single person, or one single unit or individual, versus spreading that risk across several units or several projects.
Crowdfunding platforms ensure transparency in their projects.
They provide detailed project information, um, regular updates, access to performance metrics, ensuring investors are well informed. And so, let me, small disclaimer, that's my answer for our deal. However, you want to make certain that whatever deal you get involved with crowdfunding or platforms or real estate investing, or anything for that nature, or even of a general nature, in general, you want absolute transparency. Who's on the title of this property? Where's this property located? Let me go on Google Earth and look up the property and see. Let me call the county tax assessor and see, who owns this property. So for us, our manager is a Proactive Realty Group. The property would be owned by a proactive social impact fund, whether it be the Proactive Realty Income Fund itself, our first fund, whether it be the Proactive Realty Income Fund 2, whether it be Proactive QOZ Fund for our Opportunity Zone Fund, or whether it be Rancho Affordable Living.
How can social impact investors engage with local communities through real estate crowdfunders?
They can directly support projects in specific communities, specific areas, specific regions, fostering local relationships, and contributing to regional development. So, for example, one area in particular that we're looking to, uh, Proactive is looking to invest in, because they have a bulk property program, is Baltimore. And so Baltimore has a real need for social impact. There's a lot of people there doing some fantastic things. We're looking forward to going into that market at some point, whether it be the end of this year or first quarter of 2025, depending on weather conditions. Um, we're looking forward to getting involved with that, and we're looking forward to being part of that huge community that they already have there, that synergy um, of impact that they're already in process doing.
Okay, great. Just a real quick disclaimer here for this next question. This does not specifically apply to any campaign, any Reg CF campaign. This is just kind of in general. What types of returns can investors expect from affordable housing projects, just in general?
In general, they can run the gamut from, we have a pure social impact fund that's only 5% paid quarterly. However, that one allows us to do the most impact. So returns can range from 5 to 10%, uh, annually, depending on the project. Those returns can be actual, accrued, accumulated, and again, thank you for that disclaimer. Those are targeted returns. It's not a government product, so it's not insured by the government. It's not secured by the government. So it's an investment that involves risk. So that's a disclaimer that we are Proactive, that we absolutely have to make in any you know whether it be printed materials or something that we state.
What tax incentives are available for investors in affordable housing projects?
You have some low income housing project tax credits. You have some Section 8 tax credits that we just found out about not too long ago, because we invest in Illinois, and we invest in some really distressed areas of Harvey, Phoenix, Dalton, Riverdale, Illinois, and up to 19% off of your tax bill if you rent to Section 8 residents.
How does investing in affordable housing contribute to reducing homelessness and housing insecurity?
Restate the question for me.
Sorry about that. How does investing in affordable housing contribute to reducing homelessness and housing insecurity?
Oh, it directly increases the supply of housing. I was watching a professor yesterday on the business show, and he was talking about attainable housing, affordable housing, and just the whole myth of affordable housing. Not saying you can't have affordable housing, you can, but ground up construction of affordable housing is really hard to come by unless it's 100% the government or it's agencies that are directly involved with the government that do housing subsidies. Um, but to answer your question, affordable housing contributes to reducing homelessness. It increases the supply of homes and the number of people at risk in homelessness. And I have a disclaimer to make, or not a disclaimer, excuse me, a differentiator to make. And one of our investors really went in my head and called me. Hey, he says, Dr. Van, he says, you're not differentiating yourselves enough. And I says, well, what do you mean, sir? And Mr. Martin, I won't say his first name for privacy reasons. And what he indicated was, he says, you're able to provide housing, quality, affordable, safe, decent housing to people that's, up to standard within nights, within 30, 60, or 90 days of receiving investment. And you're able to, pay investors targeted returns within the very next quarter. He said that's unheard of in this market. And he says, and you're helping people who are at or below the poverty line and providing social impact with it. And he says that's something that you really need to differentiate, and that government subsidies are what help pay the rent. And I says, okay. I says, you're right. He says, what separates you from the average affordable housing group? Says, well, proactive, we're able to go in. Well, number one, we have an existing portfolio of properties, of units ready to be renovated, parks ready to be filled with manufactured housing, existing relationships with providers, with contractors, with handymen. We use local folks to go in and renovate projects, and we provide housing very rapidly. And we have waiting lists. We have people we work with. And let's go back to Greeleyville for a second, Greeleyville, South Carolina. We were able to fill that park so quickly because we have existing relationships with so many manufacturers that they have open units sometimes. Because we're able to source those open units, we're able to bring those open units in. So, for example, we buy a park on 123 Street in a community that's 100 spaces, and we call up 4 manufacturers. We can have that park filled in within 60 to 120 days, the entire 100 spaces filled, 100 families in those units with cost savings benefits. And these are brand new homes. These are not used homes. These are not your grandma and grandpa's mobile home or trailer. These are brand new manufactured, low E, energy efficient manufactured homes. These are 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 1-bedroom, 1.5-bath, or 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath. And these are homes that'll have a minimum shelf life of 50 to 65 plus years.
What are the long-term financial benefits of investing in affordable housing?
Reduce crime. That's number one. Reduce crime, reduce homelessness, better workforce, and quality communities.
How can real estate crowdfunding platforms help investors align their financial goals with social impact objectives?
By balancing with by balancing financial returns with measurable social outcomes. Like I was saying, Proactive has the impact reports from Morningstar Sustainalytics, and then we measure our impact both in house and outhouse, with outsourced through Morningstar Sustainalytics. And when I say Morningstar, I'm talking about the fund ratings company that compiles data and research on numerous publicly traded companies.
Great. What are some successful examples of affordable housing projects funded through crowdfunding?
Oh wow. Um, Numerous projects have provided affordable housing units, revitalized communities, strong returns to investors, strong social impact returns. Uh, so the property we had that we sold a publicly traded UMH, it wasn't officially crowdfunded on a platform. However, it was right after we established our fund. We did some private crowdfunding, and we were able to get that project to the finish line. As a result, that project has a huge cost savings benefit, um, and that's another report that we need to, Mr. Bill, that I'm just thinking about that we need to add to our website or to our due diligence data room, so that we can show our direct alignment and the direct benefit that Proactive has had on communities. Not only, in our impact report, we have our cost benefit analysis that showed all the families that have saved, 20+% on housing costs monthly with Proactive, annually saved on their utility bills, and have been able to be stable in where they live. However, we need to also share the UMH report now along with that to demonstrate, to bridge, to say, okay, we started here in 2018. We moved to, being able to align with UMH in 2022. We were able to have our own social impact report June of 2024. And this is where we're going forward and continue to measure our impact, Lord willing.
How can investors conduct thorough research and due diligence on crowdfunding platforms?
Well, they need to review. Uh, they need to review credentials. You can use AI tools to public records, Google searches, ratings. Forbes has, Forbes is one place that has a really good list of the top crowdfunding or real estate crowdfunding platforms. Forbes does, as well as the Financial Times often has information on it. Epoch Times sometimes will talk about credible crowdfunding sites. And so those are places that you can get information, that you can glean a lot of information from. And we are now on site at 1735 North Rancho Drive in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you can see what we have here. There's a refrigerator here. Why there's a refrigerator here, I don't know, but we're going to find out. So, and you asked about some of the challenges often of some of these projects, and it's just the main challenge on some of them can be just the level of active management that's required for. I'm pushing a button here to turn the camera around. Okay, here it is. So I'm still talking and answering. This is Rancho Affordable House. So the project we're working on is across the street. We're looking to duplicate this project here, which is manufactured homes that we brought in. We did a complete revitalization of this community. Almost every unit is filled with second chance housing. We did paving, or people who have needed to have a place to live, who may have had an eviction before, who may have not been able to secure decent housing. We've painted, renovated units, brought in brand new manufactured housing. We did not displace residents. What else? What's the next question on the list, Mr. Bill?
Sure. How can new investors start small and gradually increase their investment portfolio using real estate crowdfunding?
Uh, they start with a small initial investment, reinvest returns, and they can gradually diversify across projects. As their confidence and skill level grows, uh, and skill, and as you can see, just really quick, I'm gonna digress a little bit. Education. So, as you can see, these are brand new 2024 homes. These are 2 bedroom, 1 bath manufactured homes. Now, just to give you an idea of the shelf life, these homes here these are previously existing residents. Their homes are from the late 60s, early 70s, and they're still, durable. Although these were built pre-HUD code. All of our homes are HUD code homes um, that we've provided, uh, as you can see from the project here. So manufactured housing has a really valuable space in solving the affordability crisis.
What's the typical lifespan of these manufactured homes?
Well, these are anywhere from 50 plus years. So most of the warranties that we get on them are 50-year construction warranties. For the construction of the home, they're built to HUD code. So think of a stick-built home. So these homes, if cared for, uh, will last anywhere from 55, 65, 70 years on average. That's on average. Typically longer than that. Unless you have a sledgehammer and you're just, destroying the home or, something of that nature. But these homes will last a very long time.
Hey, what strategies can investors use to stay informed and engage with their crowdfunding investments?
Uh, they need to be active in the investment to regularly review project updates, attend platform webinars, which is very important, engage with the community of investors, and project leaders. Uh, yeah, that's very important that investors can do to stay informed.
Yeah, and then the one thing that I'll add to that is that in order to stay compliant, the real estate developer has to engage with its investors through real estate crowdfunding anyway. And any good developer who wants to continue to grow through the real estate crowdfunding space is going to continue to grow and nurture that investor base. So I think that because it is a requirement of real estate crowdfunding, most developers who use real estate crowdfunding are absolutely going to stay engaged with the community. Just wanted to kind of add that in. Um, how does community engagement enhance the impact of real estate crowdfunding projects?
Okay, so engaged communities are more likely to support and sustain the success of projects, uh, which lead to much better outcomes. So, as you know, engagement is very important.
How can social impact investors monitor and adjust their investment strategies over time?
Um, excuse me. By continuously reviewing their investment for performance, adjusting allocations based on outcomes, based on market conditions, uh, and stay informed about market trends, joining like-minded communities, crowdfunding investors, whether it be uh, social impact groups like GIN or like Impact Finance Center. Uh, there are several groups, and they can also uh, be aware of the market trends including regulation, the growth of ESG, environmental, social, and governance, and investing, the rise of crowdfunding platforms, new platforms that come online, platforms that are niche specific, and also I think another way is that investors measure the social impact of their affordable housing investments by using metrics such as number of units created, community revitalization indicators, resident satisfaction scores, um, looking at webinars, YouTube videos. One such place that comes to mind just off the top of my head, aside from Proactive, aside from UMH, aside from Arteris Investors, is Jamboree Housing Corporation. Jamboree Housing Corporation is an awesome. I mean, I think I stayed up till like 3 in the morning the other day, looking at some of their videos on the impact that they've created around affordable housing, supportive services, just phenomenal. It's just unbelievable. So it's staying connected, really keeping your ear to the ground for what's working, what's not working, where it's working, and making adjustments from there, and focusing on platforms to maximize their social impact in real estate investing. Focusing on platforms that have a strong social impact mission, investments across high impact projects, and actively engage with project leaders and communities.
Okay, Dr. Van, great LinkedIn Live today. Do you want to continue with the tour a little bit and show
Um,
people around and tell people a little bit about this project?
okay, so these are 3-bedroom, 2-bath units. They are 1,000 square foot each. And on this particular property, the orange unit in the back is also a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. These are 2-bedroom, 1-baths, smaller houses that replaced like the outdated RVs that were left here on the property that were abandoned. The property was pretty trash when we got it. We do a lot of heavy lift properties, so that wasn't unusual. This building here, we came in and we put all new windows that are energy efficient. We replaced appliances. We did renovations, revitalization. As I stated before, we paved the road. It was all dirt and gravel. There was a big rig here in the parking lot. This place was just in total disrepair. At nighttime, it was pitch black. We had really good lighting. These 2 units here are 1-bedrooms. So this is a unique property. We usually don't find properties that are a combination of manufactured housing and multifamily. This particular property here is 6 units of multifamily and 14 units of manufactured housing. So, uh, so it took us about a year and 3 months. However, had we had the capital right away, we could have got this property done much faster. All right, so I'm ready to sign out. And if you'd like to go ahead, Mr. Bill.
No, you were on the right track there. How can people
Okay.
follow you? How can people follow you, and how can they get in touch with you to learn more about the opportunities at Proactive Social Impact Funds?
Yeah, so it's proactiveimpactfunds.com, 1-800-626-2089, 1-800-626-2089. My personal cell is 803-989-8264. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Van.
All
Look
right.
for us next Thursday at 12:30. Have a
All
great
right.
day.
You too. Bye.